let's talk about Nothing. Damn, I make a pun every time I talk about that company. Nothing came out with...
Not say anything for a
Yeah,
while.
sorry, I had to.
It's okay.
But Nothing's coming out with 3 things. Nothing Phone 4a, Nothing Phone 4a Pro, and Nothing Phone Headphones... Nothing Headphones A. Nothing A Headphones.
Headphones A.
Headphones A.
Headphones parentheses A.
Yeah. God.
Close
Their
enough.
naming is still kind of tough, not going to lie. Nothing's a weird name for a company.
It is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the 4A is the one that most of us are interested in. It's a 350-pound, a.k.a.
That's a really heavy
dollar.
phone, dude.
I know.
Jeez.
There's a joke. $350-ish phone coming out in a bunch of markets. I think this is the one that's going global. New design.
Wait, which one? The 4A is
4A.
UK, Europe, India.
Oh, okay, so the 4A Pro is a global one. Got it. 4A is in those markets.
I guess.
Blue and black. Yeah, so it's a slight spec bump. It's got a couple new interesting things. I think people in this room have called it the best looking Nothing phone ever.
We talked a lot about
Until
the design
today.
last week.
It's got pink.
Do you still feel that way?
I need to look at it again.
I'll go. It's hard to say compared to the Pro. The Pro looks really nice, but not in the colors. Just the regular Silver Pro looks really nice.
Okay.
I think 4A is still nicer looking.
4A, I think, is a more general, nice looking phone. The 4A Pro is really cool and kind of almost gamery, but in like a subtle way.
Well, we
I
can
think
get into that soon.
Yeah, true.
So I guess
Sorry.
I'll just jump into the specs of the 4A.
Real quick though, but last week we only talked about the pink and the white. There's also a blue and a black one. So there's
Blue and
4
black
colors for
better.
it.
The blue looks good too.
The blue looks really nice.
Yeah.
So this is running a Snapdragon 7S Gen 4. It has a 5,080 milliamp hour battery with 50-watt charging, IP64, a pretty bright display. It says 4,500 nits peak brightness. I almost never know what to make of that. I kind of want to know just what the regular...
4,500.
Yeah, like the peak HDR, like one pixel would be at 4,500 nits, and then you can put that number on the spec sheet, but I don't
One
know.
of the glyph LEDs on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorilla Glass 7i. It's got triple cameras. It's got a
5,000
pretty
whatever.
good-looking set of specs for a phone that is this cheap.
I have a question for the audience that maybe you guys can answer. People still seem to care about processors.
Yes.
Hard stop. And I understand the gaming aspect of it, I suppose. Although I'm not really sure what mobile optimized games don't run at high frame rates anymore. Maybe like Genshin Impact or something. That seems to be the benchmark. But I still see people caring about the processors. And I'm like, if the processor is lower tier, quote unquote, but it enables things like super bright 120 hertz, 50-watt charging, like all this stuff, why do you care? This is my question.
Yeah. Great question. I think this is another thing where in the bubble that we're in of people overanalyzing every little detail about a phone, like the enthusiasts, they care about getting the most for their money.
Yeah.
And so when a slightly better available part is out there, they want that one instead of the one they got.
Yeah.
But I think for most people, a lot of people, especially even sometimes watching these, but who are just more casually shopping, they are not thinking about the difference between the Snapdragon 8 Elite or the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 or the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy. Like, they're all a good chip, and the phone performs well. Therefore, I'm not getting ripped off.
I agree with you. I use a Tensor chip, so clearly I don't give a shit about performance. But I think like what Marques said, in like this more range of things, when you're probably cross shopping, if I'm looking at 2 phones at the same price and one chip is better, then I'm probably going to go that for the longevity route.
Sure.
That's when I'm hoping that's when people care about it more so here. But I also, as much as I love speaking for the audience, I'm probably wrong when I do it.
No,
Like, there's 2 audiences.
I think it's less like the people that care about the frame rates on the newest game. It's more so how long will this phone last me? I'm spending like $500, $600 after taxes. Like, I want it to last a while.
Well, Apple would say that running at a lower clock speed actually makes the phone last longer, which is why they force lower clock speeds, but they can't really do it anymore.
I think that's a perfect example of the 2 different audiences.
Yeah.
Like, there's one audience who's like, how dare you? I want the highest clock speed, so I have every single frame. I want the maximum performance. And then there's the other audience. Then there's the other audience who wants just the phone. Hey, it works, so make it last as long as possible. So if you were in the first bucket who's like, I want to maximize and get the best possible performance, especially when you're buying a higher end phone, I think it makes way more sense to pixel peep and to really want the most out of your phone. Then that makes sense. But if you're buying a $350 phone and it just works. And especially with, I think Nothing software is pretty good. Like, it's smooth enough. I don't think it would even feel that different on a Snapdragon 8 Elite versus a 7S Gen 4.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, as long as it lasts me a couple years and doesn't fall apart, seems like it's a good enough chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems that way to me. So that's the regular 3, the 4A. And we also got the 4A Pro, which I have to say, like, got announced this morning.
Surprise.
You probably got
Awesome.
some early stuff about it.
Yeah.
But I did not know anything about it. It didn't leak online. This has got to be one of the first tech launches that hasn't leaked.
They
in
played us.
a very long time.
I feel like the design video last week was to be like,
Look over here.
yeah, they literally like,
Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
and they did a good job at it. Yeah, this morning I came in, I was like, we have a lot to talk about in the pod. I have a lot to write this morning because we also had to shoot S26 review. And then I sit down and there's 2 new Nothing products I didn't know about. I was like, oh my God.
We
gotta
did
get
know
moving.
about it technically. Marques told us last week.
Marques did not tell me about. I asked
He told us
earlier
on the podcast. I left it in the edit.
He did ask, is there a 4A Pro? And I was like, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I
You
missed
said yeah, but I thought you were just speculating.
Me too.
Exactly.
Why are you hiding from us, Mark?
Yeah, well,
I only say what I'm allowed to say.
Earlier this week I
to your
said,
friends.
hey, I'm writing podcast. Can you send me the 4A specs so I can write it down? And you're like, sure. And didn't send the Pro or the headphones.
Well, I didn't get the 4A Pro info. That was the thing.
okay.
So the event was in London, the literal hours after the Apple event in New York. So I couldn't physically be at both. So I made the decision to see the 6 Apple devices in New York, and I wasn't able to teleport to London fast enough to also see the 4A Pro.
Bummer.
Dude, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I couldn't. I actually looked. I was like, is there a flight that takes off and gets me there at like 3 o'clock in the morning so I can just show up and make a video? But no, there were no flights that could make that happen.
Not to invoke that.
We're cutting that.
Why?
Because that's not real.
We talked about it though.
It's true.
That's not coming out. Are you kidding?
was
That's why
funny
we
to
couldn't
talk
take it. That's why we couldn't fly on
That's
it.
true.
Yeah, no.
But yeah. So anyway, this stuff was sort of held in London for us to see from those who are actually there with cameras.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty good. The
Yeah.
specs also look pretty good. So the 4A Pro, again, it's a 4A Pro, not a full flagship. It's not a 4. So because it's a 4A Pro, it's got a Snapdragon 7 Gen 4 chip.
I kill myself.
I think this is just them coping that it's like, hey, if you want to put a mid-range chip in this, you can't call it a flagship. If this was a Snapdragon 8 Elite, then they could call it a flagship. But since it's not, all right, we have to call it the A Pro instead of the flagship. Fine.
Yeah.
So Snapdragon 7 Gen 4, 6.83-inch AMOLED. It's a 120 hertz display, but it will sometimes get to 144 hertz depending on the app, kind of similar to some other gaming phones have.
Okay.
5,000 nit peak brightness, which means nothing to me. 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 50 watt charging, triple cameras again. Better cameras though than the 4A. So,
Yeah.
and better looking. It's got the glyph on the back. It's got
the Nothing Phone 3 like little display thing.
Yeah, in a better way. So like,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it yet, it is an all metal body, which
is
sweet.
awesome.
It's
Beautiful.
And-
Except for wireless charging because it doesn't have that because it can't.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Poo poo. It has like a large camera bump, similar to an iPhone in terms of footprint, but this is proof that you can do that like everyone else and make it unique because this is actually sweet. Essentially, one main camera, top left corner, dual camera.
Below
what
it.
are we calling them again? Pills?
It's a
Ellis?
pill.
The pill?
The bean.
The bean. We got a bean, a double camera bean under that horizontally. Then to the right of that, a large circle glyph interface, which I believe has 137 mini LEDs, is 57% larger and twice as bright compared to the phone 3 glyph interface.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we still have the red recording LED on it because that should be on every single phone ever.
Yes.
But then encased in that is a full metal silver, pink, or black body. And it looks great. It also
They
has
are
the like
cooking over there.
Yeah,
It looks
has like the little circular like indent on the bottom that matches the new Pixel Buds. Not Pixel Buds. Nothing Buds
Buds, yeah.
feels like that.
Yeah,
it
with
just
the
like
little spin thing.
Yeah, it matches all together really well. Although
The pink, I will say, okay, so like in the camera bar, it is color matched on the silver and it's color matched on the black, but the pink is still silver, so it looks really weird.
Actually, wait.
I kind of wish that they made that pink.
Here's my problem is look at this picture on The Verge. That looks This is the black phone,
that
but
doesn't look
looks
black.
like a silver camera bump, and the black metal looks like it got like plasti dipped instead of
I
like
think the silver version of this phone is the best looking
is
one.
100%.
It looks great.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I miss the HTC full metal body phones. And if you're not going to have wireless charging, which I still really love wireless charging, all metal is pretty awesome. I'm curious about heat and how that ends up working out. Maybe because this chipset is, a little bit lower performance, it's not going to get as hot.
Is there a vapor chamber in there?
Probably.
I don't actually know.
I don't know. The renders might look better than these
For
in
sure.
person. I'm very curious to see them in person. It's definitely more gamery than their other devices.
It's a little more. I don't know. I'm not
I
getting
like it.
gamery as
I'm not
much
getting
as
gamer.
I'm getting
It's
like
like Cyborg.
R2D2.
Yeah.
Like a little playful pill morphing.
It
type
feels
shape.
like a phone that they took the nothing buds and just put it in the camera bump. Like that's where all the nothing design aesthetic is, the clear and kind of like red accent and whatever. And then there is a little bit at the bottom, but I kind of dig it because it's not trying too hard while also trying too hard.
Yeah.
Which is a hard thing to do.
Do you see the price yet?
$499.
$499. So not flagship price.
No.
I think pretty good price actually.
It's
Cheaper than the Pixel.
it is interesting though because it's $499 USD, 499 pounds, and 479 euros. Which if you do they've done this before where like they match the price, but when you do conversion rates on that, it's wildly different.
yeah, it's a better.
It's the same price as the Pixel 10a, right?
$499.
Yeah.
While you guys are looking, my favorite thing about the video was it says world's first 140x zoom asterisk, and then says claims are based on publicly available data at launch, which I think is the claim that it's the world's first 140x zoom, which again just
Which
feels
is
like such a
useless.
It's going to look really bad.
If you zoom into 140x, what are you doing?
Have you watched the video?
No.
Even when it zooms in on the like perfectly rendered video of everything, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Hey, at least they're honest.
Here,
Real quick, it's $499 for the 8 gigs of RAM, 128 storage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another $100 for the 12 gigs of RAM, 256 storage. Those are the only two options.
just do 1000X and just make it look really bad.
Yeah. What's stopping you from going to 2000?
Yeah, exactly. You could just brand it that way. 2000X zoom.
World's first.
World's first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it looks pretty good. I think the Nothing design team has been really cooking recently.
I think they also did the thing where they kind of made the previous stuff worse so that we'd go, wow, they cooked this time. Look at the improvement. Probably not.
What do you mean made it worse?
Like how the iPhone 16e was so bad that when the 17e was what it should have been, we were like, wow, they really cooked. Is that, can you do that with design? Or is it just they tried
It depends how
something?
quickly you have turnaround. Like
We hated the 3.
we hated the 3, but not the 3A. So I guess that depends on theirs. Like,
I mean, the analogy I'm making for the 17e is to the 16e is the iPhone 12 mini to the 13 mini because the primary problem was the battery, and that's the primary thing they addressed in the next one.
Yeah.
And with this one, the primary problem was the lack of wireless charging and the storage, right, for the price.
Versus the 3A Pro?
I was talking about the 16e.
Oh, the iPhone? Yeah,
But
MagSafe.
so now with this,
Yeah.
I think this is more analogous to the 3 than the 3 than the 3A because it uses the same kind of glyph interface, even though it's bigger and better now. Apparently, the 3 still had a chipset that people were not that happy with.
It was also super expensive.
It was
was
also
800
super
bucks,
expensive. Yeah, like I don't see a reason anyone would buy the 3 when the 3A Pro exists, which is kind of funny. I feel like maybe they should have just called this the 3 Pro, but I guess they couldn't because the chipset is technically not
Exactly.
as good. I just hate. This is the thing. This is my thing. Why does everything rotate around the freaking chipset?
It's just because of the super, like the nerds among us would be like, are you seriously making a new flagship with a worse chip?
Yeah, but like,
we've all said it
that's-
and we've all done it also.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like they
It's
can't, they cannot name this a flagship because everyone will say that about them. So they have to leverage this naming scheme of like, okay, it's not the A because
Yeah.
the A was the 4A, but it is better than the 4A, but it's not a flagship chip. So we'll call it the 4A Pro. That's how they get away with this specific set of specs and this price. And when they inevitably try a flagship sometime later, all of us nerds will go, well, you better put a flagship chip in it. Otherwise, I'll spend my money on something else with a flagship chip.
can't wait for the CMF Phone 3 Pro Lite that is better than a Nothing Pro 4A.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
love
they
this.
did a great
I
design
love
job.
this phone.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't even think of no wireless charging though. That makes me
Yeah.
sad.
It makes me sad, but I don't know. If you're not going to, I mean, I want it for sure. I always want it. But if you if you're not gonna do it, metal body is sick.
True.
Because I missed my HTC Thunderbolt, even though it burned my hand.
What about? There's so many better metal phones you could.
The HTC Thunderbolt?
The Thunderbolt was the worst one.
What are you talking about?
Thunderbolt was the worst battery life of any phone I've ever
Yes, I agree.
They were like, let's do 4G and then burn it to the ground.
Burn
What
my
about
hand
the
to the
HTC One or the HTC One M7,
Yeah,
M8?
okay, I guess. Yeah, those are more legendary.
Google Play Edition.
I know. It's
Those
just,
phones were.
Nexus 6P.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had good metal
Oh,
jacks.
Nexus 6P.
Good metal phones
Fire.
did exist.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I only made that. It was my first smartphone, so I guess that's
Fair
why.
enough.
Yeah.
You didn't know better.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. Well, they didn't have anything better at the time.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for watching that clip. If you agreed with what we said in whatever we were talking about, leave us a thumbs up. If you disagreed with whatever we said, hit that subscribe button down there. It's down there somewhere. Thanks. I like that.
We can't see your dislikes.